welcome to this episode of The Daily. My name is Brendan Malone. Well, I read a really interesting article the other day that was proposing this idea that in the West, we don't really have culture anymore, that we misappropriate that word and we use culture to sort of just mean, popular entertainment and movies and things that happen in society currently, but that's really not what culture is, and that our major institutions that really should be the seat of culture are now just so dysfunctional that we don't have culture anymore. Now, I read the article and I thought, maybe they're being a little bit harsh. Maybe I wasn't sort of sure 100% that I agreed. Some very good points were made, but I wasn't sure if I was 100% sold on what was being suggested. And then a couple of days later, I opened up the newspaper. Well, when I say I opened up the newspaper, I clicked on the newspaper app for the New Zealand Herald, which is New Zealand's largest newspaper. So I open up the newspaper, and then all of a sudden, what I'm looking at here on the main page, so what I see is, I see a breaking news headline banner, I see the main headline article, and then another article below it again, a new different article, and all three of those things were all about the breaking news, the main headline article and a third article below it as well, were all about the New Zealand Bachelor reality TV show, or an incident related to a breakup that had happened just after the end of the New Zealand reality TV show, The Bachelor. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe the guy who wrote that article is right. Maybe we are now mired in this soup of mindlessness that has taken on Orwellian proportions, that we really don't have culture anymore. I thought, well, no, maybe you're being harsh, Brendan. So click on the article and actually read it before you go off half-cocked. Read the article and see what it's saying, because maybe it's just innocuous and it's not as, crazy as you think. So I click on the article and read it. And by the end of the article, I'm like, you know what? I actually think this guy might be right. Maybe we have lost culture altogether. The reason I say that is I read this article and it is literally about a breakup. And the headline for the article was, I can't remember, I'll call him Jim. Why did Jim leave his true love? So the first thing when I read the headline was because she wasn't his true love. This was a reality TV show, The Bachelor, where a group of women compete for the attention of a man and he chooses one of them to be his mate. Very modern concept. And that's not true love. Now, there might have been sentimentality involved and there might have been physical arousal involved in this process, but that's not what love is. Love is an act, an action. Love is tangible and it is real. Love is not simply an emotion. It is not simply a feeling. Love is when you act in any way that seeks the good of another person. When you act and sacrifice to put yourself second to another person, put another person's needs ahead of your own, when you act for their good, when you make a gift of yourself for another person, that's what love is. The Bachelor contest is not love. So that's the first thing. And then as I read on throughout this article about this breakup, it started including commentary and tweets and other things from celebrities and other, major New Zealanders, figures in New Zealand society, and they're all saying, I really admire these people and I support them through this, and they were taking this thing as if it was like the breakup or the divorce, a divorce that had happened in a marriage, or which is a real tragedy. Like seriously, this is how they were treating this thing. A guy who 48 hours after the reality show had ended, he said to the girl who won the reality show, I'm no longer interested in being in a relationship with you. Not that they had much of a relationship to start with. And they're using the words like true love to describe this whole scenario. And you've got celebrities sort of acting as if this is a very serious thing that requires serious commentary. It wasn't a joke. They weren't joining in like it was fun. They were seriously treating this like this was a huge moment in New Zealand society that required serious commentary. And when I was looking at that, I thought to myself, there really is something very Orwellian about this sort of mindlessness now that has consumed us, and the way in which, we just consume mindlessness. That old adage, you are what you eat? Well, it's really true culturally as well. It's really true of your society. What you consume is what the eventual output of your society is going to be. It really is that simple. You are what you eat. And we are eating the cultural equivalent of just fattening, non-nutritional junk food. Basically, we're consuming it. So it's one thing to say there's a problem here, but what can we do about it? Well, I think it's kind of not really rocket science. I think we need to just stop consuming this stuff. We need to make a decision that we're not going to watch TV mindlessly. I've made this decision, and it's been really beneficial for me. I hardly watch any television now at all. I spend my time engaged in trying to do more reading. I'm engaged in things like this. This is a hobby for me that I do in my spare time, creating things, spending time with my family, my wife, giving myself to my wife and kids and service of them in my marriage and family life, being invested in my local community, trying to read things more, trying to create things, giving myself to other people and investing in relationships. See, this is what we can do to break the cycle and get out of this habit of being a consumer and being a mindless sort of zombie who's just consuming mindlessness. Because the more you consume of it, the more you become mindless. And that's really not good for any of us. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow on The Daily.